Hey Monster Makers, Mrs. Vance here. We are ready to color. So we are going to apply our knowledge that we learned earlier about color theory. So specifically, complementary colors. So remember my fancy shirt? I've got blue and orange. It looks a little dark, but it's navy blue. So blue and orange are one set of complementary colors. I remember it by thinking Go Bears or Go Illini. We've got red and green. And a lot of people's favorite holiday, which is Christmas, or just think of wintertime in December. So that's that red and green. And then purple and yellow. How can we remember that? That one's a little trickier. But I always think Lakers or LSU, I try to relate it to sports teams. If you look carefully, a lot of sports teams use complementary color schemes because, as we've learned, they help the colors stand out. So it's an easy way to remember them, and it's a great way to use colors to their advantage on the sports field. So you can see those numbers on their jerseys and things like that. So I just want to go and review with color on here and talk about what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab my blue, my orange. Let's see what else. Oh, take a different blue. I need purple. I need yellow. I know that purple in your oil pastel kit is not super purpley. So if you want to make a purple by using magenta and blue together, that's going to make a good purple. Don't mix red and blue. I know that they technically make purple, but they don't. And that's something I'll explain more later. But really, magenta or like a bright pink with a blue is going to make you a better purple when you overlap them. So I'll even get those out so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm a little dark here. What am I missing? Oh, red and green. All right. So I've got my complements out. I'm just going to pull these right out of my kit. And then we'll have options to add extra colors later. But the main coloring is going to be complements. So just to be clear, I'm going to draw with my Sharpie. If this was my background, I'm going to draw little boxes around these guys. And I know they don't quite fit, but it's going to help. Okay, that'll help. So if my background of this guy is orange, then what color does the main part of my monster need to be? Everybody, blue. Yes. So then this guy, the main part of his body needs to be blue. Okay? So we can do the reverse. If this is blue in the background, then what color does the big head need to be? It needs to be orange. And you're going to color so much nicer. This is just for review. All right. If your background is purple, then your monster is yellow. If your background is yellow, then your monster needs to be purple. I'm going to show you quick how to make that purple. So I'm going to go ahead and overlap some pink. And then I'm going to grab my brighter blue and overlap those. It's not a perfect option. I'm going to grab a red and see. Yeah, the red doesn't really work either. It's not a perfect option, so grab the closest thing to purple that you have, and then you can try to adjust it to make it a little better, okay? If you really want to, you can grab a purple crayon instead, because I know that the purple in your kit is not the best. So for whatever reason, purple is a really difficult color to make in oil pastels, so they don't really give you very many variations. If you notice, you have a bunch of blues, and there's different variations of green, but purple is sort of left out. And it's kind of sad because I like purple. All right, last two color sets. Excuse me, I've had the sneezes today. Red in the background. Then what color needs your monster to be? It needs to be green. And if green is in your background, what color does your monster need to be? He needs to be red. All right, so hopefully we have reviewed enough that we feel prepared and ready to go. So here we go. We are gonna start coloring our monsters. All right, here we go. So I did just check with my daughter because she has an oil pastel set from her school, and it's actually smaller than your oil pastels, and it actually has a decent purple. So I'm hoping I'm wrong and you guys have a purple. I just don't happen to have the same set you guys do at home. Crazy, I know, but I don't. All right, so I'm going to take my happy guy and make him my blue and orange guy. So I've got to decide, do I want my monster to be orange or do I want my background to be orange? I think because of my love for Wildcats and LHS, I'm going to make my monster orange, and then we'll color the background blue. So I'm going to start with my outlining my monster just to keep my head in the game so I remember where I am and what I'm doing here. And if you need to, at any time, you can peel your oil pastel. Try to just peel the top part off to keep your hands clean. Okay, and I'm going to the other side. And it's okay if you did what I just did and missed your pencil a little bit, but try to stay on target as much as you can. I'm pressing pretty hard since I'm outlining. Okay, and then we're going to start to fill in, but what I'm actually going to do is kind of look carefully and say, all right, I'm actually going to carefully outline on the outside of the eyes, just so I don't accidentally color through anything. Go around the nose too. So I'm helping myself kind of create borders, because when I go to color big amounts of space, I sometimes forget where I'm at, and I just realized I don't really have a separation for my nose. So I've got to decide, is my nose going to be orange or am I going to switch colors? And let's see. I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to draw a little bump there to give me a stopping point, and then I'll decide later. Okay. So now I can start filling in, right? So I'm going to turn my paper where I'm more comfortable with drawing, and I'm going to color in each spike of hair first. So that's just my example for this one. Obviously, everybody's is going to be a little different. I realize I really got to go around my eyebrows too. So I'm going to trace around those eyebrows. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me color the entire thing like normal, because that's super boring. So I'm just going to give examples. All right, so you get the idea. I am going to grab my colors and think about what colors I could use as accents that would go kind of with my orange, but work in the project. So I'm going to grab my yellow, and I think I'm going to make his eyebrows yellow. Coloring nice and carefully as I go, not to smudge anything. And then we are going to outline everything with a black oil pastel, or at least our facial features when we're done, kind of like we would with a Sharpie, but Sharpie does not like oil pastels, so we're going to use a black oil pastel. But we're going to wait until we get a little further for that. Okay, let's see, where am I at? Do I want to make the nose yellow too? I am going to make his teeth yellow. I'm going to bring that together. He's going to have dirty teeth, but that's okay. He's a monster. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. What color eyes? I am going to use a blue for his eyes, but I'm going to use the brighter blue for his eyes, and then I'm going to use the darker blue in the background. So just a thought. I mean, you can make your eyes whatever color you want, but I'm kind of going to tie in the complementary color into his eye color because I know that they will pop more. And remember, we're going to leave this part white because we want to leave a little bit of white on our project. So here's where I need to kind of decide on what I'm going to do with my nose. I think I'm going to do a reddish orange so that it's orange-ish, if that makes sense. All right, so I've traced it. Now I'm coloring it. Now this is a lot of oil pastel on your paper, so really be careful as you go not to rest your hand on your paper. I'm being very careful to color up and hold my hand off my paper, and my other hand is holding in places that I haven't colored yet. You can use the scratch paper method, and you can grab a piece of scratch paper. I just got a notepad here and kind of use it as like put it over where your hand is holding, so that will protect the rest of your project from smudging and getting it all over your hands. Okay, go back to my orange. Feel like I need to add a little bit more so you guys can see it. So again, the main section of your monster needs to be that complementary color. And then we will do the rest in a second. All right, I promised I wouldn't color the whole thing. I wouldn't make you watch me do it. All right, so once you kind of get all that done, you're gonna go ahead and grab your complementary color. So in this case, it's my blue, and you can do your background. Don't forget about the party hat. I would probably want to use colors I've already used, or maybe add one more pop in there. When you color your background, start on one side and work your way across, and make sure that you're definitely using that scratch paper to help protect you as you hold your paper down. So I'm going to go inside in between my hair first, because I think that's going to be the hardest, and I'm going to work my way kind of around. Okay, and I would work my way all the way around my paper. So definitely use the scratch paper, or you could grab a full sheet of paper, okay, to help kind of block off your hand. You can rip out something from your sketchbook if you don't have any other kind of computer paper or anything else laying around to utilize. All the way in. Okay, so you get the idea. The one thing I'm going to talk about quick, but make sure you don't do this until you're 100% done coloring, because the black will smear and it will kind of ruin your project if you do it too soon. But you're going to make sure that you put black in the pupils of your eyes, and look, he's coming to life now. It does a lot. That black pupil goes a really long way. Okay, and then we talked about outlining other things. So yes, outline those eyebrows. Use that tip of the oil pastel as much as you can so you can have a sharp edge. And take your time outlining. I'm concentrating, sorry guys. Okay, it's up to you if you want to also outline the eyeball. I do think it helps kind of make it pop. Okay, and then I would do the same to my mouth. But again, I'm done coloring. I know it doesn't look like I'm done. I'm pretending, but I want to make sure that you know that you are done coloring. I forgot to do the tongue. This tongue would be red here. And then people have asked, what do I do with the inside of your mouth? You can actually color it all the way dark black, or you could grab like the next darkest color in your kit. I might grab, I have a really dark blue, that I might like overlay, because it's actually looking too blue. I want it to look darker. So I'm going to overlay just a little bit of black with that blue and kind of blend it together. So yeah, I'm going to finish coloring that blue and then add a little black and then go back over it with blue. And that's going to give me that nice dark mouth. Because if you think about it, the mouth is a very dark place, honestly, because it doesn't catch light. So again, add a little bit of black over the top. Notice how my hand isn't square on my paper. I'm being very gentle and careful not to smudge everything as I go, especially since I'm coloring out of order. And we'll have to go back in and finish everything after I'm done recording your video. All right, I feel like that looks pretty good. I could always make it darker with a little bit more black later if I need to. All right. I am not going to outline the monster itself. I want the complementary colors to kind of make that work for us. So I'm really just doing the outlines around our facial features to help bring in and pop the sort of silly characteristics of our monsters. Okay? All right, guys, I can't wait to show you my finished one. I can't wait to see your finished ones. I will make sure I color both examples for you. I think I'm going to do this guy purple and yellow, and we're going to have a great time with our complementary monsters. Have a great one, guys.